wanted to get in touch with my nature side, and I wanted to explore the rural American South, said Williams. In recent years, the angst of being a black motorist has been captured with the hashtag driving while black. As Americans flock to the open roads in a bid to reclaim their summer after more than a year of restrictions, the freedom and excitement of the road isn't without caveats for minorities looking to venture to less diversity destinations. En route, they were a bunch of Confederate flags, a lot of Make America Great Again flags. There are even a few Klan lounges in South Carolina that we came across at Williams. It's when you veer off to the back roads that you don't connect to the highway. That's when you find yourself in trouble. And it sucks because the hiking spots are in those backwooded areas like West Virginia and Kentucky. Williams says he didn't believe the cashier who suggested he leave town before sundown, so with malicious intent, I don't think she was being racist towards me. If anything, I got the energy that she was looking out for me, so I believed her and got out of there, he said. Rather than challenge the convention and try his luck, Williams and his companion quickly got on with their journey back to Maryland because dead men tell no tales. Despite the experience, he said he would be down to do it all again, but definitely would be cautious. Why would you want to try to go down there again? Like, why? I can already tell that what type of person he is, and I can tell he's the quote-unquote black friend in whatever circles he's in, just by what he just said there, who he's hanging with. But I'm going to continue. Exercising caution and traveling with intentionality is a key feature for black motorists, and is a philosophy that travel blogger Sojourner White is guided by. Honoring the etymology of her name, Sojourner, White discovered her love for voyages on the road as a child, traveling with her family from their hometown of Milwaukee. I traveled throughout my childhood, White, who runs a blog called Sojourneries, told BuzzFeed News. Milwaukee to Louisiana, St. Louis, Michigan, Atlanta, just because we had family spread out. We were always hopping in the van or the truck with me and my four brothers exploring the U.S., and then it just kind of grew from there. White is familiar with sundown towns. The legacy of fear where black travelers will not be welcome is something that frequently comes up in her network of bloggers. You hear people say, my parents don't want me to travel. They say it's because of racism, and so it's also a cultural thing with sundown towns. The after effects of it, even though they still do exist, as the younger generation, I would say millennials, were the ones who were like, no, we're going to explore, we're going to kind of go out here, but it took a lot of people to get there. White, who is also a social worker, said that when traveling on American roads, details like planning where to stop made all the difference. Less black drivers unknowingly find themselves in the wrong spot. It's like, okay, we can stop in St. Louis, intentionally stopping in the bigger cities to avoid any type of conflict. Granted that even the cities have their issues, but it's not like going to a space and being the only black person for thousands of miles, said White. Like many travel content creators, the pandemic limited her ability to travel internationally, so she focused on local excursions. Because there were fewer travelers during the pandemic last summer, White said she was able to indulge in the road trip experiences she wouldn't have otherwise considered. She drove to Oshkosh, a town in northern Wisconsin. I've been doing a lot around Wisconsin recently with the pandemic and seeing things I didn't know were tourist attractions. But the other side of that is I didn't really explore Wisconsin a whole lot because of what I've heard about being black in other areas, said the 26-year-old. That's the Wisconsin pandemic. I have not interacted with white people as much, and so I find that I deal with racism less, she said. When I was going up there last fall, all you saw was Trump signs, All Lives Matter type of things, or Blue Lives Matter. It wasn't everywhere, but that's part of the reason why
I'm going to stop it right here. This is kind of long. But I just want to point this point. That even as a black man, even if you had your girlfriend who was white, or her wife is white with your kids, it would be just as dangerous. Because some of these sundown towns, there's something else. It would be very uncomfortable. So when Rofonso Rivera say stuff like that you would support racists, but racists don't support you. And one day when he step out the spotlight, and you travel in some city in some state through the Midwest or the West or any place, you're going to come across stuff like this, what he was saying. Not saying that everybody's like that. Not saying that the whole town is like that. But you're going to come across stuff like that. And again, You have some of these black people that just think that, you know, and because they were Republican or they Democrat or they conservative, it doesn't matter. They don't. When people pull you over, when there's racism and prejudice, people see color like a bull see red. They don't care what your affiliation is, or where you come from, or where you at. All they see is a black man or a black woman. And you might even get it worse if you're educated, because they really think that it is. But what I'm saying is that you're going to go through it worse. So I just wanted to make a video, and someone like that need to think about what they say, because I played that video for a reason why. Racists don't support you. Racist is not going to overlook you and say you might. Well, racists have a mentality. People who are racist has a mentality, and I learned this from an older gentleman I hear on YouTube as well. His name is Neely Fuller. Supremacy of the mind. People who carry that supremacy it calls. You remember the game Simon Says? Well, with some people who are racist, some of them who are white. When it comes to being racist, until you feel that they like you, you still the N-word. That's a fact. For him to say something like that, you have wait till one day, and one day when you step out the spotlight, all I gotta say is, Alfonso Ribeiro, you and your family traveled throughout this country, and you tell me, you're gonna come across some nice people, and you're gonna find some people that's gonna look at your family and you like you stepped off the ship, because they still haven't adjusted with that reality yet. And I was just saying, and there's a lot of people, and even people who are not from this country, them sundown towns is for you too. See, that's the micronism of America you don't know about. There's a micronism. There's one thing that they can't stand you to be colored. These are the same folks can't stand you got an accent. Some of the same people. And then the majority of your people move in, a segment of your people move in, they get inferior. They get paranoid. I'm gonna tell you, this is the truth. We, as black people, we don't have no beef against anybody. We don't look at them as inferior, superior. We're not gonna burn down your house and whatever. Very seldom kids can come at you. But these racist people, that's what they do. That's why they move out. Some of them move out there in them little towns, because they don't want it. They don't. And just like he said. That's why some people, not all, but some, move out there. This is some of your Trumps, and some of them probably are Trump supporters. But it was all. And this is another thing before I end this video. It don't matter if it's Trump supporters. It don't matter if it's a Biden supporter. Because everybody try to shift things on Trump. Let me tell you the difference between how Trump and Biden had something in common. They both had associates that people were friends with somebody who they close with was with the Ku Klux Klan. Both of them. Trump had it in his family. Biden had somebody who was associate that was I think he was a Southern senator. He was a Grand Wizard of the KKK. So in other words, it doesn't matter what is it. And then here's a little short story. Because people say it's the Republicans and then the Democrats. The Democrats was the Republicans. But when they went to Dixie, this history, that the Dixie was the Klan. The Democrats are the Klan. They're the backbone of the Klan. because it was controlled by votes. So either way, you had people out here, and you understand about the insurrection that happened up in January 6th, and people with their Trump, and there's some people out there who are probably racist, that are white nationalists and everything. But white supremacy, what they call it now, plays both sides of the tracks. It's not just Trump's people. It's the other people. And they part of the same club. They're part of the same club. They make like they're your friend. Biden makes like he's your friend. But really, you see his history. It was target, the first people it was targeted towards was blacks, then other people, then people who were Hispanic and other people fell. But it was the target was blacks. And he's the indirect racist. But he kind of, even though him and Trump kind of butt heads, but they pretty much alike. You need to understand this. Just because, and Trump knew black people like, have favorite black people like Biden does. He has favorite black people too. Was it Democrat or Republican? But at the end of the day, you still, it's under the sign I said so. You are my good black person till I see otherwise. You see? So Alfonso, that's what you are. You're a good black person. But when you step out of the light with your family, crisscross America and go into a little town where it's 90% white, you'll find out real quick. And they don't know you. When you step out spotlight for a year or two, watch what I'm talking about. So my name is James. So this is my thought. I hope I didn't make it too long on the Alfonso Ribeira video, the former actor of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air from the early 90s. I hope you guys have a good one. And until next time, be blessed.